Yo, 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 yo,
Yeah,
yo.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
yo. Hey,
yeah.
yo.
Hey, yo, let's watch this, y'all.
Welcome in. I'm just keeping these in the tent now because I like these as my, party rock opening shades.
That's good. I like it.
And going with a little this is the horse racing outfit that I prefer because I don't sit in the high class jockey club section, but
Right.
more of an infield, down on the rail guy.
Oh, yeah.
Um, you
Slumming
know,
it.
oh man, I gotta run back to the window and lay down this 75-cent bet before it's too late. No,
Right.
I'm
75 cents.
ruined.
75 cents. You going big, man.
It was a sure thing. It was a sure thing.
I had a guy gave me a tip.
Inside guy.
Yep.
But in honor of the Kentucky Derby this weekend. But thank you guys for joining us. We do have really, yet again, I know it's probably like the fourth straight weekend. Just a lot of good stuff. Like I said, as far as big, I don't know, majors, Kentucky Derby,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the playoffs that have already been going on. The U.S. Open started
Mm-hmm.
kind of early on, but I've been catching some of that. It is weird that no one's there, especially because
Yeah.
the U.S. Open is famously with the giant, huge stadiums, including the main court, Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I was looking at that. It's early on in the tournament, so especially like the first couple rounds, and for the younger people that always end up getting seeded against the super, higher seed people, that would be kind of weird to be in a giant stadium and no people.
Just a giant empty stadium now.
Yeah. But definitely trying to keep up with that. And, of course, football right around the corner. We actually have some college football this weekend.
We do.
Got some UFC. Man, spoiled again. But, Tyler, how are you doing this evening? And I don't know how you feel about going into the sports weekend.
Oh man, I'm doing good. I'm looking forward. Of course, we also got the holiday on Monday, which that's nice as well. But yeah, just looking forward to kind of some nonstop sports. A lot of good stuff. We got an AEW pay per view as well, which I'm always excited about. Get the
AEW.
wrestling in there, but yeah, man, lots of good sports lined up for the weekend. Lots of big sports news as well. I'm excited, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We've had, the last couple days was sort of the transitional phase over from the end of the first round into the second round. I know we have some of the teams that wrapped it up sooner. I don't even know if I could do the hat, or to be honest with you. It's just causing too much problem with the headphones. Just would do that. Okay,
just have
whatever.
just put it on a wire. Have it hang like just slightly above you.
It just floats so I could bat
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I mean, as you can see, it's also pretty smashed, but the hat is what it is, okay? Just accept it. But so a lot of nice conclusions, except for in the case of the Rockets Thunder series, which we'll get into. Some game sevens. We're now into the second round here. Really good matchups. Upsets brewing. Raptors saved their bacon quite a bit yesterday in a pretty
They did.
amazing way, which we'll also talk about. And then hockey. Today we have 2 game sevens. Tomorrow we have a game 7. So everything is getting really juicy right now if you're a sports fan. I think, game 7 in any sport is one of the most exciting things to watch, but especially hockey, basketball. The games are, baseball as well, but it's more like the in-arena sports. I know there's no fans this year, but it just seems like the sports that kind of move faster, it's a little more immediate reaction, like a little more visceral, just like living and dying with everything.
Right.
So glad to start seeing the better teams coming together, and we're getting game 7 still. So I wanted to start with the NHL because they had the game 7 earlier tonight. Unfortunately, the Avalanche. I was going for the Avs. I'm just not a Stars guy. Sorry, Chris Sapita. But whatever. The Ducks are way out of it. So who am I to talk?
Right? Yeah. What do we haven't cared for a while.
Yeah. But let's real quick too. Got to check in with the comments. I know Jaime had the tailgate popping early.
There we go.
He had the beer chilled on ice, and
Nice.
then he cracked it. Since SmackDown started, and also throwing love out to Final Fight on Sega CD. All right, I like that.
Yeah.
A little
Good
deep cut.
game. I like that game.
And also shout out to Eunice for
Hello.
checking in.
Hello.
But yeah, so the Stars Avalanche game did go to overtime. I
Right.
did not see the goal. I just got the notifications on my phone that they did win. Um, really, I just like the Avalanche team, so I was kind of pulling for them.
Hmm.
But you know, the '90s, mid '90s, late '90s, they were sort of a powerhouse. I sort of hated them, but I never really had a problem with Joe Sakic, or happy to see Ray Bourque, finally get his there at the end.
Or
Uh,
Patrick Roy between the
Patrick
pipes.
Roy, always ready to
Yeah.
let those hands go.
Yep.
As you know, Mike Vernon can get it. Chris Osgood can get it. Anyone can get it. Dom Hasek can get it. Don't matter.
Yeah, no, that series did kind of like in my head the whole time. I was kind of taken back to like the late '90s, early 2000s when you had the Patrick Waugh versus Ed Belfour or the Joe Sakic versus Mike Modano matchups. Like those were kind of always like two of the top teams coming out of the West, and it felt like they always kind of crossed each other's paths in the playoffs. I don't know if they actually did how many times they faced off, but it felt like that was always kind of a power series in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Oh, that was a long running. That was just a bloodbath. They legitimately hated each other, those
Yeah,
teams. And the Red Wings were in an even longer run of just being really good.
yeah.
Probably just right around the time they had Yzerman and Fedorov, that they were just always good. It seemed like from then on for, I don't know, 12 years until they finally just fell the hell off. But and thankfully so, by the way, because
Yeah, no kidding.
God, I hate the Red Wings. But that's a discussion for another day. Shout out to the Stars, though. Moving on, we do have the other Game 7 of the night. We have Vegas and Vancouver in action. And the other night, to force the Game 7, we had local boy Thatcher Demko with 48 saves
Whew.
to rip that shutout win.
Yeah, he set a record for most saves in a regulation shutout in the playoffs. He's actually got two more periods of shutout hockey going right now. They're in the second intermission, and it's currently tied 0-0. So that one looks like it's going to be coming down to the wire as well, which is what we expect from hockey playoffs. I mean, they are always, I would say, arguably game for game, the most exciting playoffs in sports. But yeah, local
Great.
boy stepping up huge, keeping Vancouver in it, and trying to knock off the top seeded Vegas team.
And we've seen it, dozens of times in the NHL playoffs. Teams that get hot, all right, that's one thing. Yes, that happens a lot. But goalies that get hot can just carry your team.
Yeah,
So, Jaguar with his
Jigger man.
infamous, I guess I should say, run and still winning the Conn Smythe in defeat. But yeah, I mean, a goalie gets just like out of their mind hot like that, and not only does it boost up the team that has the goalie on their team because they think they've still got a chance. If you go down by a goal or two, this guy's back there just stopping everything, relatively speaking. But it also demoralizes the other team. Like, what do we have to do to get one past this guy? So a goalie can really take over, even more so than a pitcher that gets hot in the baseball playoffs, because they're always there and they're always the literally last line of defense between you scoring or not scoring. So shout out to Demko. I like to see, just in general, really any California kids balling out in the NHL. So big ups to Thatcher Demko. I hope they can win that. Still sort of a casual Vegas fan because I like the story. The first year, I don't know I don't know if I've said on the story. I know Tyler knows the story, but my wife, producer Tanaya, did put a $20 futures bet for them to win the Stanley Cup at some crazy, like 40-1 or something.
That
And
was
they
their,
got
their
damn
inaugural
close.
season. Yeah.
They got damn close that year. So ever since then, I've kind of had a soft spot for them. But, I mean, got to root for the Cali boys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like I say, it's kind of exciting. It's always exciting to kind of see, the low seed kind of topple the big dog. I mean, I don't really have vested interest in either team. I have no real issues with either team. It's just, I just like seeing good competitive series between them, and the winner that's going to take on Dallas. Of course, that'll probably start Sunday, I would believe. And then tomorrow we got another Game 7 in the East between the top-seeded Flyers and the, I believe, 6-seeded Islanders, which I know that's kind of a bit of an older. I know they kind of had some run-ins in the 70s and the 80s, so that's kind of a bit of a long-standing sort of rivalry.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. That was another classic Donnybrook. Also, shout out to Amanda. Thank you, digging the Cuban look. I'll take the Cuban look.
Ronnie's always built for Cuban links.
Always only built for Cuban links. Thank you very much. But good luck tomorrow, Amanda. We'll see what happens there. And what else we have here? Uncle Dan gave me 3 Red Wings shirts and donated them instantly.
Nice.
Good. Well
nice.
done. Well done, Jaime. But yeah, it's always interesting too to see teams that both come off of a Game 7. In the case of, who knows what's going to happen with this other one, but Stars win in overtime. Could very well go to overtime this other game, and then they got to do it all over again. So teams that are sort of peaking, but also definitely playing a lot of games in a short period of time. Sometimes you just see one come out flat, but I think more likely you're going to see both teams just, tooth and nail going for it big time. So I think we got some good series coming our way in the hockey world.
Yeah, absolutely. I did find it kind of weird they're having the Canucks in Vegas do the back-to-backs. So they just played last night, now they're playing again tonight. But
this hat is ridiculous. I'm sorry, Tyler. I don't know what to do with this hat.
Just add it to the collection you got going in the back. Just kind of keep it, prop it up in the man cave there. There you go.
We have Cuban MLS ball.
But yeah, definitely excited. Looking forward to hopefully we can catch some of the end of the game after the show tonight, and then also see the Game 7 tomorrow, and keep an eye on the conference finals going forward.
So with that, speaking of playoffs, let's pivot over to the NBA, the bubble, and of course the action on the court.
Yeah.
So you heard us talking about the now notorious Rockets Thunder Game 7. I was really expecting more there.
Yeah.
And it was a close game, I guess.
Came down to the end. It came down to the
nicest way I can say it. But yeah, after we got off the air on Wednesday, Tyler and I both committed to tear down quickly to go see the end. There was about 7 or 8 minutes left. It was tied. And the last 2 minutes was just a travesty of basketball.
Bad. Yeah.
There was just, D'Antoni, I don't believe in you as a coach at all. I mean, I feel like him and James Harden, as I have said, similar guys. They're going to put up tons of points, score tons of points, and probably never win the big one just because of the way they do the things they do. But this thing was just a sloppy, brutal mess. Harden really didn't have that great of a game. Westbrook was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
He's not a great shooter anyway. We saw the end of the game before that where I don't even know what the plan was. Harden didn't even touch the ball on the last inbounds. Westbrook just sprints down the court and just throws a pass to no one, and they lose the game. But I don't know what's going on over there. The out-of-bounds plays made no sense to me.
So bad. They're so bad.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing was frustrating, and it's like, dude, we could just still be out here, doing the after show post chat. But the Rockets do advance. They're playing the Lakers right now. I don't have a score in front of me. I'll pull that up for you.
They're up at halftime, last I saw.
We did have a pretty nice game last night, though, with the Raptors and the Celtics. Pretty much do or die for the Raptors, I would have to say. Yes, defending champions, and they have played pretty well in this whole bubble playoffs, but the way the Celtics are playing, which is really, really well right now, especially defensively, I just don't think there was any way they were coming back from 3 down, the Raptors.
Yeah, I agree.
So they had to have it. And actually, now that, friends and family vetted by the NBA, again, can't be Instagram models or casual acquaintances that you may have met at a random bottle service or gentleman's establishment.
Sure.
They are in the bubble now, so we do have a courtside video that is not copyrighted that I can use. And this is the final
legalities.
So, got him on a technicality. So this is the from the inbounds to the conclusion of that game. This is what happened, and please do note the freakish height discrepancy of Taco Fall guarding the inbounder Kyle Lowry. So pretty cool scene right there. It happened right in front of the Raptors family section. And not to overlook the fact that before that, the Celtics had what appeared to be the clear game winner. Um, just a really nice play by Kemba Walker, basically drawing the
Great.
entire defense to him and making a great pass for an easy dunk. And, Marc Gasol got sucked in, and then it just like wide open for the dunk.
With
But you
half a
see,
second left on the clock, by the way.
yeah. So you see on the inbounds after the timeout, Taco Fall, I believe, tallest player in the NBA, on Kyle
I
Lowry,
think so. Yeah.
just all range, all hands, all everything. I mean, he could block out the sun if he wanted to. And Kyle Lowry just made an insane pass. I'm not exactly sure how you leave a guy that open over there, but maybe they're just thinking there's no way that the ball is going to make it over there. Just physically, it can't happen.
Yeah.
I know Jaylen Brown after the game was upset. Defensively, we blew it. That's just unacceptable. He kind of wore that. And that's the way the Celtics have been playing. They've been playing really good defense. So I think it's still going to be a tough road back for Toronto. But glad to see them make at least a series out of it, as opposed to going down, 0-3, and then you're pretty much that's it. But speaking of, so we played you the video. I'm just going to play the beginning for a second. All right, that's where it was shot from. So they posted, this was actually on the TNT broadcast, a screenshot of the Raptors family section. I don't know who filmed the video there, but look at all the young babies there. All these, there's no,
Bunch of little kids.
adolescent children. All
Yeah.
these just, mothers with the young babies. These are the wives of the players here. And of course, Tyler brought to my attention, it's always a great time to bring up, one of the GOATs, John Voight.
Babies. All of them babies.
Babies. All of them babies.
I'm all for any Anaconda reference ever.
So that will be featured on the show going forward. Please believe that. But cool,
Yeah.
cool to have the families there, and I'm sure that happening right in front of them was just a cool experience to be there for.
Yeah, that was a wild play. I mean, again, you talked about the play before, the great pass by Kemba, get the dunk with half second left. I know there's the whole rule of 0.4 seconds. Shout out to your boy Derek Fisher. That's all the time you need to get the shot off. But especially when you saw how tough Boston was playing everybody kind of near the inbound, it's like, all right, well, what's Toronto going to do? And then you just see that huge overhand, almost like a Kevin Love style, Kevin Love and college style, just down court pass. Yeah, just nails OG right outside the 3-point line. As soon as he grabs it, puts it up, makes it. That was a wild inning, and it definitely, if Toronto doesn't win that, I think you're right. Maybe they win a game. Maybe it's a gentleman's sweep, but if they don't make that, they're definitely done for. But now they got some life in them, as opposed to the Milwaukee Bucks, who, boy, that's
not looking good.
No, not at all.
So we saw now, as of today, they are now down 0-3, and there was a little. I think Richard Jefferson went on ESPN and he said maybe Giannis is a Pippen, which I thought was ridiculous. Even Pippen came out and recanted that because he's like, well, first of all, I have not won 2 MVPs, but we're also different players.
Yeah, completely
Richard
different.
Jefferson's whole point was maybe he needs a Jordan. Maybe he's not the number one guy, which I think is completely ridiculous. I just think watching the way they're playing right now, he's getting frustrated because Giannis, the thing is, make him shoot. Probably shoots at a 30-ish% clip from, 3-point range or around that area. And he's just not being able to get into the paint at all. The Heat are just taking that away. They're making him shoot or give it up. So the Heat really are just, I don't want to say hot, but they're hot right now. I hate saying that the Heat is hot, but
hot Heat.
The hot Heat. Yes. Oh, damn it. Hot Heat are tearing it up. Of course, Jimmy Buckets, our guy. Just as a little pivot over to some of the bubble life, we did have a little update there. I don't know if I have the let's see picture. What did I do with it?
No, you're right.
I'll find it.
It's the Heat are just playing out of their minds. I mean, they haven't lost since the playoffs started. I think they only lost like once or twice, kind of before the playoffs in the bubble. And even tonight, like they were, Milwaukee had the lead most of the game, but the Heat were keeping it, within 4 points, 5 points, whatever. And then the last couple minutes, the Heat just absolutely could not miss a shot, couldn't do anything wrong on defense. Jimmy Butler just looks absolutely locked in, and he's playing with – I mean, he's always been a confident player, got a lot of swag to him, but he is just like – you can just tell the way he's carrying himself that he is just feeling maybe better than he's ever felt on the court. And that's kind of a scary sight. And, I mean, the way they're playing, I don't even know if a gentleman's sweep is possible for the Bucks. I think they're just going to get straight up outright swept. Like that's – unless something insane happens between now and 2 days from now, it's really not.
Yeah. I don't think there's a way back. It would be a real big shame at this point. I don't think you could really attribute it to anything else other than the Heat just sort of letting their foot off the gas, because it's just time to sort of stick the knife in and just take care of business. Mm-hmm. Let them win 2 games. Now you might be, back on your heels a little bit. But Jimmy Buckets, a.k.a. Jimmy Barista, it's an update on his side venture there. We have this post from, again, great friend of the program down in the bubble, Miles Leonard, has now tried the coffee. I can confirm it is legit. And then we have this tweet that I saw. Source familiar with the company's business strategy says Jimmy Butler's Big Face Coffee is doing well financially. The source was Jay Crowder, and his source was Jimmy Butler. So that's pretty much how it's going.
That's a solid source.
He's just winning everywhere. Winning in the coffee business. I did see a couple of people tweeting, say the Heat do end up winning the whole thing. Let's say they win the title. A lot of Heat fans are hoping that he does actually open up a coffee shop somewhere in the Miami area as a celebration move.
Hey, I think it'd be a smart business venture. I think, he'll obviously have the goodwill of the Miami community, and everybody loves coffee. Well, not me, but everybody else loves coffee, so hey.
First of all, Braden, you missed it. We already dapped up Demko. I already put my allegiance out there. I'm rooting for him. So you missed it. You didn't miss it. And then, of course, has to take a shot. Ron Pods over A's. I don't know what the score is, so hit me in the comments. But I think my boys will fare pretty well in that. I think they'll give you a good run for your money.
Actually, I'm pulling that up right now. It's 1-0 Oakland. So there you go.
So suck on that, Braden. But thank you for the comment.
Yes, as always.
4-0 or 3-0. Is it 4-0 or 3-0? I don't know.
Oh, I saw 1-0 a second ago, but maybe something just happened.
Well, that's it's just out there. So we're gonna lock that in. So depending on what happens in this series, I'm gonna screenshot that.
I suppose that is a fairly good transition though into Major League Baseball. I mean, that is kind of going to be the big series of the weekend is Padres versus A's. That's kind of it's going to be a real test. Not saying the Padres aren't legit. I mean, we've both given them praise. Plenty.
All right, we've got an update here. Apparently, although it took like 9 comments to get there, 4-0 Padres. Check the score. It's 4-0. All right.
ESPN.com is telling me 1-0 Oakland. So
2020 World Series preview.
You know what? I mean, it's not too far fetched. Like I said, San Diego's been awesome. I mean, we've been singing their praises all year. Obviously, they got a lot better at the trade deadline. Our show got the same at the trade deadline, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, a lot of moves. It was a flurry of moves.
Still
hard to keep up with.
But and the A's, of course, they've just been absolutely, just racking up the wins over there in the AL. So definitely going to be a big series. I mean, it very well could be a World Series preview. I think this is Oakland's first games after they had a COVID test, right? They haven't played. They haven't
Yeah, they
played
had a
all.
staff member test positive. They've had I want to say like at least 3 or 4 games postponed, but at which now leads again to the weird baseball where we're going to make these games up situation, probably involving some 7 inning doubleheaders. We'll see how that plays out. But there we go. Well, ESPN is lagging. Oakland
ESPN is
scored,
like,
and it was removed via review. So there you go. Shout out to Braden taking over in the stats and research department for
there we go.
Quarantine Kings tonight.
But yeah, that's going to be an exciting series. I think definitely want to keep an eye on. And there's some other news coming out of the MLB last night that we'll both be big fans of. Is Clayton Kershaw becoming the third youngest pitcher in history to record 2,500 strikeouts behind only Nolan Ryan and Walter Johnson. Definitely always got to give Kershaw praise. I mean, say what you will about the playoffs, and that is certainly justified given his track record. But I would say
we know that's out there.
Arguably, over the course of his career, day in, day out, he might be the best kind of just day-to-day pitcher I've seen. I did see that, his career ERA, he's only 32 years old, played 11 seasons, but his career ERA is 2.43, and it's actually gone up the last couple days or last couple years, which is crazier to me. But definitely, big shout out to Kershaw hitting that 2,500 mark. I think he's less than 200 away from getting the Dodgers record. I think it's 191 strikeouts behind Don Sutton for the Dodgers record. So,
for the Dodgers, the amount of pitchers that have come through there, Hall of Fame pitchers, that's nothing to sniff at. And Kershaw, we all know about the playoff thing. Yeah. Hopefully one day he's able to break that, duck or whatever, get that thing off his back. But he's still going first ballot into the Hall of Fame. And I'm glad, he's been on my team for the whole time anyway, because he'd just be ruining someone else's life if he was playing on a different team.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's just been, watching him every night is, getting to watch him every fifth game is pretty awesome. Again, playoff aside, anytime he's on the mound, you're expecting something good, and he's constantly delivered. I mean, I think actually this year he's in 6 games, he's got a 1.5 ERA, something low like that. So because he went to the Driveline Academy in the offseason. He seems to have found some form again after kind of running into a series of injuries that I still think a lot of that stemmed from that 13-hour flight from Australia a few years ago when he really screwed his back up and wasn't really the same since. But yeah, man, definitely, been fun watching Kershaw and look forward to continue to watch him.
Yeah, even with as naturally happens, velocity being down, it's clear when you see guys like that, they just know how to pitch. I mean, look at Greinke. He's not throwing up the same kind of numbers, but now he throws like 46-mile-an-hour off-speed pitches. People that just do, like Livan Hernandez was doing it at the end of his career. 50-mile-an-hour pitches. I like to see people that it's more about the craft, the technique, knowing how to pitch to guys, knowing the situation, as opposed to, oh man, I can't just like gas it up and blow these guys away anymore. What am I going to do? I'm screwed. So you can that's where you see the difference of just a great pitcher between someone that just really, really threw hard for a while and they just can't throw hard anymore.
Yeah, a pitcher and a thrower, I think, is the what Dan Patrick always refers to. He says people don't pitch anymore; they just throw. But Kershaw, definitely a pitcher. I mean, and he seems like the last few years he's been adding pitches to his repertoire, which is kind of crazy to see. Somebody in their 30s start like learning new stuff and making it dominant. So it's been a lot of fun getting to watch that guy pitch every fifth game for.
Maybe he's on the opposite track of like Yu Darvish, who's having a really good comeback season right now. Remember when he came into the league, Yu Darvish, and it was like he throws up to like 21 different pitches, and it was just like, who is this guy? He's got the Shuto, which we don't even know what it is, and all these different weird like spins on the ball and stuff like that. It seems like he's just kind of more straight ahead pitching now. Maybe makes it easier on him mentally. I don't know what it is, but he's having a really good season. And Kershaw, I just got to junk it up. Whatever I got, whatever I can pull out of the bag.
That's it, yeah.
Give me the 4-iron. I don't care.
Actually, I I see a comment here from Jaime, which I think would be a good transition here. Some other big news that broke out today is that turns out after all the hullabaloo and scuttlebutt of the last week or so, Lionel Messi staying in Barcelona for the last year of his contract. Said that he doesn't want to go to court against Barcelona. Says he still loves the club, doesn't want to go to court with them. Which, as you've pointed out, I don't think anybody wants to go to court in Spain.
Never good. Don't do that. They'll just screw you for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll be playing out the last season of his contract in Barcelona, and then from there, he will be a free agent after the 2021 season ends, and from there, probably still go to Man City just because they're one of like 3 teams that can actually afford him. Yeah,
I think this is kind of in line with Messi's overall MO. He seems like pretty much just a low drama kind of guy. It's been well known, especially this season, even during the season, that he wasn't happy with the direction. Again, particularly with the management from the top, and he wanted to get out of there. He's still a little bitter about it because, according to him and his dad, they still disagree with this buyout clause, saying it's not valid, but the league came in and said, yes, it is. There was still some kind of agreement on the table, allegedly, that they would be willing to let him explore leaving the team, and then ultimately they just went with the league. The league stepped in and said no, but he's got 1 year left on the contract before he can leave. So I think he just, I don't know, I can't get into the mind of someone that I personally have not met, but he just seems like a kind of a low drama guy. He still has great reverence and respect for Barcelona, everything he's done for them and they've done for him. So I think maybe he's just, I don't want to make it too big of a huge stink about this. I'll play out the last year and then I'm out the door. But for now, it seems that this is resolved. So I guess we'll see Messi back on the field in La Liga next year, or this upcoming year.
Yeah, I think they start not this weekend, but next weekend is when I think most of the big European leagues start, because they do have the Nations Cup going on right now, I believe. But I'm kind of interested to see. I don't think Messi will pull a Gareth Bale and just kind of sulk on the sidelines. I think he will go out there, continue to play, because I mean, like you said, that just kind of seems like the type of player he is like, doesn't matter if I'm happy or not when I'm on the field. It's game time. I'm going to show out. I did see some interesting news that Barcelona is actually in talks with getting Memphis Depay on their team, which I think that would be a interesting 1-2 punch at the front line if they could get that. But in some ways, I'm glad that Messi's not going to Man City this year, because it would just obviously, anytime they play West Ham, they would ruin them, which, I mean, that's going to happen anyways, but still. But at the same time, it would also be nice to see Messi on there, because we have easier access to see Premier League games, and seeing him in the Premier League would be definitely interesting. But
now, you know what this is? There's a shadow agreement in place. This is what I choose to believe.
Okay.
Just give West Ham a little more time to get the money together. And then, boom.
There we go.
You got to believe.
West Ham is just going to, like we've said, West Ham is going to sell every player they have to get the money to afford Messi.
All
and
we
Messi
have to
just
do
play
is
1
get
on
rid
11.
of 24 of our players, and then we might have enough to put a down payment on Messi. I mean, I will put something on it. I can't just pay you outright, but we're good for it. We're good for it.
Yeah. No, that's it. Maybe that's just it. West Ham just sold their young player Diangana for less than $20 million, which is a whole other story that we don't really need to get into, because West Ham's a freaking mess. But maybe that's it. Maybe they'll start selling everybody off, and I'm just waiting to see Declan Rice to Chelsea, because that's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen.
Just get in position.
He's
Triple H, he's trying. Triple H is doing everything he can to keep Declan.
Maybe The Rock is a Chelsea fan, so he's going to start posting videos to counter Triple H's plea for Deck to stay. But
it'll be just like the good old days. Them cutting promos against each other, but it's just about Premier League transfers. It's a weird time to be alive.
What is 2020?
I don't know. I was thinking about that today. I was like, I've never really been a big New Year's guy. Just seems like kind of an overrated holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it's just okay, whatever. But this year, I think it might be kind of big because I think
It'll be a big
everyone is ready to just leave 2020
deal. Yeah,
and never look back. We just got to get to the next one. Got to get out of here.
that's it. We just got to make it another 5 months. It is something like that. But, also, so other big news that we got for this weekend, big sporting event, of course, is will be the Kentucky Derby, which of course that everything is being run out of order. Normally, the Kentucky Derby kind of leads the
Which inspired my
leads.
degenerate gambler outfit.
That's right.
May or may not know.
That's right. Ronnie's putting it all on number 8. I don't even know who number 8 is, but
I'm putting it all on number 2, Max Player.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I saw
Max
him at
Player.
the Belmont, and I fell in love with that name right away.
It's like Max Power, but a little slightly different.
Max Player. How can you not go for that name?
No, that is
Yes,
good. I like it.
I know that's the classic thing about horse racing. Just give them a name that random people will bet on without knowing anything. Well, it worked on me. That is who I'm betting on, Max Player. And again, I mean, there's never a bad time to mention that all gambling predictions on this program for entertainment purposes only. But we do have the favorite Tis the Law, even money, pretty much where actually he ended up below even money by the time the Belmont, the post time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was before, or the initial odds at the Belmont, he was 6-5. By the time it posted, he was like 1-2 or something like that. So he's starting even money. If you don't get your bet in now, well, actually, it doesn't really matter because horse racing always just, odds are constantly fluctuating. But I guarantee he will not be even money by the time post hits.
And I think he's definitely going to go down below even money again before this race.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so that post time is going to be tomorrow at 4:00. It's always fun to watch. I always enjoy the Kentucky Derby, especially seeing the the mixture of everybody. It really this happens at any horse race, but the Kentucky Derby in particular because it's the biggest races. Seeing the mixture of everybody all classed up in suits up in the stands, and then you go down to the infield and you see guys dressed like Ronnie or worse down there. Just slamming beers, popping Molly, doing all kinds of
dressed.
stuff.
What do you mean dressed? That infield at the Kentucky Derby is legendary. I've seen so many videos. I mean, this year we're not going to have it because obviously, but people just trying to do like Bill's Mafia type table smashing, jumping off of porta potties. All kinds of depravity goes on at the Kentucky Derby. What they show you on TV is, the big hats, the suits, the jockey club, all the people that actually have enough money to own the horses. But the infield,
Bob Baffert.
Yeah, the infield's disgusting, but definitely something, kind of a bucket list thing. I would like to at least walk through there and see what really goes on down there.
Jaime with the comment there mentioning, of course, the story of Wes Welker down there. He went years ago popping Molly on the infield.
Yes. And hopefully Wes Welker is safe and drug-free this weekend, watching the Derby at home. Socially distanced from all the depravity that goes on in the infield down there.
Yeah, I'm all here for that depravity. That is something I would like to experience one time in my life, just to see how crazy it really is.
I did not know that about horse racing until I moved to San Diego, where I could go to one at Del Mar. And you just think it's this super high class affair. And there is, always that element. Men and women just super dressed up to the nines. But they're over there, and all the rest of the majority of the people are just terrible, degenerate, awesome people.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, definitely. The racetracks are definitely a fun time. If you ever get the chance, I would highly recommend go to a local track and just enjoy yourself out there.
I can go and literally not even bet, but the beauty is also you can bet pretty much nothing on a
50 cents, $2 is usually 50 cents.
20,000 to 1 like parlay of the entire day of racing that will never come through, but you feel like I got some action on this. But yeah, the majority of the rank and file at these races are a little seedier, shall we say, than what they show you on TV. So check it out if you have a chance.
Yes, that's for sure. All right, we We got anything else going on this weekend? Oh, we do have a UFC fight night. Almost forgot to get into that here. We do have a fight night this weekend with a couple interesting fights on there. If we got a few minutes to talk about that.
We do need to check in with the fight doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the main event of the evening.
the heavyweight champion of the world,
It's time!
Now that we're back talking, gambling, basically. For entertainment purposes only, I had to put my gambling hat back on.
Oh, there we go. Of course. So yes, just remember, folks, anything that we do say here regarding fighting or betting is, of course, for entertainment purposes only.
You must know that. You must know that.
Please believe that.
Please believe that.
But yeah, we got a interesting card this weekend. Got a big name in the main event, of course. It's being headlined by the heavyweight fight between Alistair Overeem and Augusto Sakai. Real interesting fight, definitely between kind of a legend guy that's had 60 plus fights in his career, former Strikeforce heavyweight champ, at one time was considered to be the top heavyweight in the world, versus an up and comer. I think Sakai's not even 30 years old. He's got
Not even 30.
Babies. One of them babies.
perfect every time. I want that every time. But yes, I guess just a young up and comer that's knocked out a lot of people, kind of on his way up to the UFC. 2 top 10 heavyweights as well, so definitely guys looking to kind of keep their rank, earn their way up to a title shot, even though the top 2 are kind of distanced from everybody else. But Overeem, that guy, he's if you look up and down his record, he's fought a who's who, beat a lot of names, lost to a lot of names as well. I didn't realize how many times he'd lost since he's come to the UFC. I think his record is 11-7 in the UFC. All 7 of his losses are by knockout. He's kind of, the way he fights is he does kind of leave his chin out there, and he is pretty susceptible to being knocked out. Sakai got 15 wins, 11 of them by knockout. Although been a little less knockouty, a little less powerful since he's been to the UFC. He is 4-0 in the UFC, but I think one of them was by knockout. Everything else has been by decision, including a split decision against Andrei Arlovsky, which is always kind of weird to me because Arlovsky has a very weak chin. So when you can't knock Arlovsky out, that's a little concerning to me. I know Overeem is a little bit of a favorite here. I do like him in this one. Normally I would try and go for kind of the young up-and-comer, but I think Overeem might pull it out, might even get a knockout win on his end. We also got the co-main event is a light heavyweight bout, which was actually scheduled to be on a fight night a couple weeks ago, but then Ovin St. Preux, the day of the weigh-ins, tested positive for COVID. He's cleared all protocols since then, so they've rescheduled his fight against Alonzo Minifield for the fight tomorrow. I am a Ovin St. Preux fan. Again, he's a guy that's been around forever. I think he's got 40 some odd fights in his career. Minifield, another young up-and-comer, 9-1 with 8 knockouts. Although his last fight was the one that ended his undefeated streak against Derek Clark. Minifield, this guy, he doesn't like to work by the hour. Only been out of the first round. Only been out of the first round 3 times in his career.
All right, let's get this over with. One way or the other. I got somewhere to be.
Yeah, exactly. That one, I think Vegas pretty much has them about even. I think last I saw, maybe the line has shifted in the last few hours. On that one, I might go with the young buck on that one. I might go with Minifield. Definitely looking to kind of make his name, put his name into the light heavyweight field, which we mentioned last week. Since John Jones is gone, that's just kind of like who's going to step up and take it? Who's going to step up and take that crown? So I think Minifield's going to kind of step up and put his name out there in the light heavyweight division. A couple other fights on the main card here. So, some few fighters that maybe a lot of fans aren't too familiar with. In the welterweight, we got Michael Pereira and Zalim Imadeyev, 2 guys that might be fighting for their contract. I think both of them have a couple losses in a row in the UFC, and kind of, unless you're a very exciting fighter, 3 losses in a row is usually kind of the cut point.
Kind of dangling there at that point.
Yeah, so that one could be an interesting fight to keep an eye on. Again, that's another one that Vegas has them pretty much even on. So that's one that it could turn into an exciting fight just because both guys might be literally fighting for their job. And then another one that I had my eye on just because it's one of the guys in it I'm really not familiar with. There's a featherweight fight between Brian Kelleher and Kevin Natividad. I'm very unfamiliar with Natividad. I think this is his UFC debut. He's kind of been tearing it up in legacy fights, kind of one of the minor leagues of fighting, if you will. Kelleher, he's I think 5-4, 6-4 in the UFC. He's got a few bonuses. He's fairly exciting fighter. Also got wins over the former featherweight champion Renan Barao, also champ over Yuri Alcantara, which is a pretty big name. I can't even really call that one again because I've never seen Natividad before. I'm excited. I always like seeing new fighters, so that's one that I've got my eye on. But I think it could be a sneaky good card. Again, a couple names that people will know, and like most of these fight nights have been, a lot of the names that you don't know, but they turn out to be very exciting fights because these guys are just looking to make their name. So I would definitely say, keep an eye out for this card. If nothing else, the main event will be good, I think. But I think overall it could be a pretty exciting card.
Is this just out of curiosity, is this ESPN Plus or is this going to be on ESPN?
ESPN Plus.
Okay. And I was thinking also may have something to do with, some basketball as well going on. But
yeah.
And I mean, you're just not going to go wrong here as a sports fan over the weekend in general. On the commercial, they're on the U.S. Open. See what's going on.
Yeah.
Got NASCAR playoffs, PGA. You're always going to have something to watch. Like I said, you should not be having to look at a commercial unless you want to. I'm still partial to the DJ Khaled, another one commercial.
Oh, well,
still like it.
You don't love that Adina Menzel commercial that's on all the time?
Yeah, there are a select few, especially I've noticed when you use these streaming apps, it seems like they only have like 5 or 6 they're allowed to show. So it just keeps coming back. But yeah, these fight nights have given us little gems every week, and some of them have just turned out to be overall pretty great cards.
Yeah.
So worth tuning in, especially when you're looking at, as Tyler said, a couple relatively even money fights right now as it's being bet. So could have some good ones there.
Yeah. Also, this fight will not be on ESPN because ESPN will be they'll be airing college football. I think the primetime game is Arkansas State at Memphis, which Memphis will probably win, but it could be sneaky good. I like Arkansas State. They always
classic rivalry. Classic rivalry.
Right?
But college football is back.
College football is back. Yeah, definitely games on. I think starting from 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, kind of all the way through of course, that game will be kickoffs at 5, and then Monday you got the BYU at Navy, which I'll watch it. Why not?
We're getting a little bit more, yeah. And then probably as we get to the next weekend, then you see some of the big boys come out. Not in any mega high-profile games, but still, then they're getting active at that point. So we'll see what happens, just like every other sporting league organization, as they actually try to start up in the corona times that we're living in. But hopefully everyone remains relatively safe and they can – I don't know what you do when you get to like a playoff scenario if, 2 of the big 5 aren't playing, but we'll see what happens. I'd still like to see, league champions be crowned at least.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of seems to be, I think the plan is they'll just kind of crown league champions because I know the Big Ten wants to start around Thanksgiving. I think the beloved commissioner of the Pac-12, Larry Scott, said they plan on starting in January. So, I don't really think playoffs are kind of in the order this year. It may just kind of be one of those old school, just, vote on the champion based on their record and stick with that.
Which then you have, 5 teams that claim they're the champion.
Exactly, yes.
Undefeated.
East Carolina, 11-0, baby.
Hang the banner.
East Carolina's not going 11-0. Just for some reason, that's what popped into my head. But yeah, it's. I mean, I'm excited, man. Again, just another full slate of sports. We didn't even mention NASCAR playoffs start this weekend in Darlington, which of course that's going to be exciting. You got 16 racers that have 3 races to either get a win or get as many points as possible and move on to the next round. So that's obviously got to be very exciting as well. And
just lurking in the shadows, we're now 8 or 9 days away from the NFL, and for me, more importantly, fantasy football. As a Raider fan, it's more about fantasy football for me, so I have at least a little bit of control over
True.
the randomness that's going to happen. Hey, Raiders, nice stadium. The season ticket package, I saw the videos, still love it, but that's pretty much all we got. So, not high hopes this year for the Raiders, but hey, fantasy football. It's going to be weird, though, as we've discussed
It'll
when
be
we
weird.
had our draft lottery. Tyler drafted a guy last night in AP who's now cut.
Yeah,
But
today, yeah.
we do our drafts a little closer in the other league to the actual season. So at that point, I think you're just mostly worried about injuries, obviously, always, or players just saying, I'm opting out, that kind of thing. Or the team gets shut down because 5 or 6 guys get it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Going to be a weird season for the NFL and especially fantasy for those of you out there that have money on it. I'm glad for our league that we did settle on at least a little money. Just
Little
have
money.
a little taste of the
Keep
thrill.
people honest. Yeah.
But it is kind of oddly conspicuous to me that can you imagine any other year where we would be less than 2 weeks out from the NFL and that's not the only thing just getting jammed down your throat on TV? And I get, normally we would not be having NBA and NHL playoffs and the later rounds going on right now to sort of take away from that. I just think the NFL is kind of like the less we say, the better right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And just hopefully we get everyone to the first game safely, and then we'll figure it out from there. So kind of an opposite tack from what they normally do when it's like the combine and it's on TV like 24 hours a day. Like, cool. See these broad jump stats.
Hell yeah. Wait, what's a shuttle run? Let's see. What do we got here?
Yeah. I'm basing all my fantasy picks this year off his shuttle time. So
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it Wednesday, since Thursday is kickoff. Maybe we'll go into like a little NFL preview. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird for them just not kind of like overbearingly just like dominating the news in sports. But hey, it's 2020, right?
yeah, I think it says a lot that even the NFL is like, whoa. Hey, we're still here. We're good. No, we're good. We'll see you on the first game. Don't worry.
All right, well, we are up against it here, Ronnie. You got anything else you want to say before we get off the air?
No, thank you guys for joining. Sorry that my hat was, too deformed and also just doesn't quite fit over headphones, so it's a little weird. But thanks for joining us as always, commenting. Thank you to Braden for taking over the stats and research department for, as he said, about 20 minutes there.
Yep.
We'll have to go see what's going on with that A's-Padres game when I get out of here, and the Laker game probably winding down, but it seemed like it was pretty close earlier. So just another good weekend in sports. Like I said, no commercials. Don't watch commercials.
There we go.
Flip back and forth and enjoy your life, sports fans.
Yeah, definitely, guys. I just want to say again, thank you for tuning in, and definitely have a safe holiday weekend. If you're, Corona's still out there, so definitely, be around people. We're not saying that, not saying shut in. Be around people, have fun, whatever. But stay safe, enjoy the sports, and as always, guys, keep the fire.
Keep the fire. Oh wait, you know what? Jaime always throws in a keep the fire, so I'm going to let him pile in there as well.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you, Jaime.
Thank you,
Thank
Jaime.
you all again. Have a good weekend. Keep the fire.
At the buzzer.